Today, I'll be reviewing Achilles Legends Untold for the Nintendo Switch. So, Achilles Legends Untold launched on January 23rd, 2025 from Dark Point Games on the Switch, and I did get a review code, so thank you very much for that. Now, going into this game, I wasn't sure what to expect, and I feel like if you play the first level of this game, you have to go past that. So the first level starts with you as Achilles raiding Troy, in Greece, and trying to save Helen. Very famous story. We've all known it, and it's almost like a God of War, like an isometric God of War, going around killing soldiers as you try and rescue Helen. And when you beat the level, something happens. You die. You lose. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. Achilles is dead. Suddenly Achilles wakes up and it's been 10 years. You're in a new part in a completely new map. You're like, what the heck? And now the game really begins. You now get experience points. Now you can upgrade your skill tree, and it becomes this isometric action RPG that absolutely hooked me from this point on. I wasn't sure at first, but after that, this game just completely hooked me. And if you enjoy action RPGs, let me tell you, this did extremely well, especially on the Switch. I wasn't even sure how this was going to work on the Switch because looking at it like the trailers, it's from other systems. But surprisingly, it runs well. It actually does a really good job. The graphics, you know, aren't the best. It almost looks like the N64 version in a sense, but that doesn't actually deter me. It actually added to its charm, and I had a lot of fun with this game. There's amulets you can get. There's different skills you can equip. There's you have different weapons from two-handed weapons to one-handed weapons to a shield to dual wielding. There's a bunch of different configurations. There's a smith to upgrade. You can get materials to upgrade your weapons and armor. There's just so much to this game that I was taken aback. The world is huge. And it uses a little bit of a Dark Souls because there's these shrines you can unlock, and the shrines become teleport points. You can use your skill tree there. But if you can rest as well to recoup, and when you do that, the enemies come back. You could teleport, and the enemies seem to come back as well. The only issue I actually had with the game was when I entered the Den of Cyclops or Cyclopses. I had a really terrible slow frame rate at the beginning of this game, like at the beginning of that den. And as I got through it, it did get better. So that could probably be alleviated with a patch. I did try it handheld as well, and it ran really well. My only problem was that some of the text was hard to read because, like, when you're doing the smith, if you're unable to upgrade, it's in red text, and it was a little harder to read the red text versus the white text through the background. I did not have that problem on the TV where it was a bigger screen. The game itself probably took me, I want to say, 10 to 15 hours or so, maybe a little more even to beat. There's a lot of content here. There's a lot of challenges. I was playing on the easiest difficulty. There are multiple difficulties. And even on the easiest difficulties, there were fights where I was popping potions and I was dodge rolling and I was like, oh my God, am I going to be able to survive? And some I didn't. And when you die, you lose that a bit of experience since the last time you were at a shrine. And then you can go back and you can pick it up again. Um, my my other big complaint, which is a weird complaint, I feel again it could be fixed, is there's these chests around the world that require glyphs to or sigils to open, and the sigils are hidden around the area. That's not a problem. Finding the sigils is fun. The problem is some of them are out of reach, and in order to get that is you have a shield throw like Captain America. You can hold RT, aim with the right analog stick, and then release to throw. This works most of the time, first off. Sometimes the angle just for whatever reason isn't working. You have to run around and try multiple configurations. Not the big deal, but annoying. The big deal comes from the fact that you can dual wield. And for a time, I was dual wielding axe and a sword, and I was running around hacking up enemies. And then I got to these chests, and suddenly I had to go into my menu, click the sword, my second hand for the equip, put on a shield, didn't matter what shield, do the throwing, to unlock the chest and go back in, re-equip my sword. It would be really cool if there was some kind of like you get two different layouts and you can push a button to swap between the two, and you can have one dual wield, one with the or with the dual two-handed weapon. There's two-handed weapons. You could have that, and then have one with the shield for these mechanics. You could use the shield to attack as well enemies, but even if that's not your method of attacking, you need it for these chests. So it was a little bit of an annoyance. Didn't take me out of it, but it was just annoying. The game also does feature a dashed line that updates on the map to help you get to your next objective, which is very much appreciated. There was just a lot of like mini dungeons in this game and a lot of content. Upon beating the game, you actually get not only the ability to do New Game Plus, but you can actually add different modifiers that have different effects. You have more like overarching effects until you get to another shrine to increase the difficulty or just give you some fun stuff. I thought that was neat. The story is cool. I don't want to get into story spoilers, but there's like a merging between the realm of the dead, Hades realm, and the real world and real world Greece. And you're also dealing with this mystery of it's been 10 years. What happened to your people? What happened to your soldiers? What happened to Greece in those 10 years? And talking to villagers and there's side quests. That is a full fledged action RPG. The skill trees are really cool too. They're up in the constellations. And you use the points to highlight different parts of the constellation. So, like I said, this game is 24.99 on the Switch, and I will say this: at full price, I highly recommend this game if you like action RPGs. Like, I was taken aback. I didn't know what to expect. I figured it would run like crap. I figured I would be like, "Oh, I'll give it a try." It was more curiosity that I reached out for a code, just because it looked cool from the trailers, but it was like, how is this going to run on Switch? And like I said, don't expect PS5 Pro or Xbox Series X graphics because you're not going to get them. But the game runs well. It's fun. I had a blast. And even on Switch, I completely recommend this game just because it is a lot of fun. So thank you very much for providing review codes. And if you enjoy reviews like this, check out our other videos like game chats, industry interviews, our podcast, and a bunch of other content at NintendoFuse.com. And you can subscribe right here and check that out on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me today and hope everybody has a wonderful day. See you next time.